guess, what was your name? I don't see it. Oh, Molly. Molly, and guess Frank. Mount Shasta Mountain. It's 14,179 feet in elevation. It's up in Northern California, about 30 miles from the Oregon border. Mount Shasta City, that's where I was born and raised, where I grew up, and a whole bunch of my family still lives there. It's a beautiful place. I recommend going. No matter where you're at in the city, you can see that beautiful mountain view. It's usually covered with snow. You may notice my shirt. This is a shirt from the 4th of July celebration in Mount Shasta. It's a big deal. It's a big, big deal. It's the big event from Mount Shasta all year round. It attracts lots of people for the run and walk event. Thousands of people show up to either run or do the fun walk. So for me, I decided that Mount Shasta was where I was going to go this 4th of July. My brother and I made that trip to go visit my dad, my aunts and uncles and cousins, all this family that we have that still live up there. We are the rebellious ones. We moved away when we were younger. We're like, we got stuff to do. This little small town, there's not a lot going on here. We need to go. However, Mount Shasta is amazing for all the outdoor activities that you can do. Also, 4th of July is my dad's birthday. So, feels a little bit like it's all about him. And to us, my brother and myself, it is all about him. We always go to Mount Shasta for the 4th of July, and it's almost always a little bit the same and almost always a little bit different. Depends on where the 4th lands. This year it was Tuesday. So Mount Shasta closed down the streets for street fair starting Saturday. Lots of booths and vendors, music in the evening, lots of fun, and there's always the beer booth. Mm-hmm. This is where we all meet. My cousin Dennis, my Uncle Gerard, my dad. We're meeting at the beer booth and we're going to have a beer and we're going to stand around. We're going to stand around a lot. We're going to stand around so much. You're going to do a lot of standing around, but that's okay because we're going to visit with everyone, say hi to people we haven't seen for a while. Well, my Uncle Gerard, he lives there. So does my dad. My Uncle Gerard is very social. He loves to say hi to everyone all the time. It is fun. It is so much fun. It's pure happiness. And being around Uncle Gerard is just a ball of happiness the entire time. We know this is what we're going to do. Well, I called my brother before we were heading up there, and I said, look, do you want to do the walk on 4th of July? I'll register us to do the walk. Well, if Dad wants to do the walk, I'll do the walk. So I called up my dad and I said, hey Dad, Kevin wants to do the walk. Do you want to do the walk? And he said, oh, if Kevin wants to do the walk, we should do the walk. And so we did. You wake up early in the morning, 4th of July. The walk starts at 8:30. The parade's at noon. Doesn't take that long to do the walk. The fun thing about the walk is that my Uncle Gerard also does the walk, and because he's so social, it takes way longer to do that 2-mile walk than it would if he just did the walk. But it's so much fun. And for that, we have fun. My dad especially has fun. That's the part that's always the same. So much fun. And that's on his birthday. So hey, guaranteed fun on the birthday. We did that walk and it was fantastic. And then you get back into town, the beer booth is already open, and you're going to stand around for a long time before the parade starts at noon. It's fantastic. Well, that's on Tuesday, and we arrived on Saturday. And there's only so much beer boothing and standing around you can do. So my brother and I got to hang out with my dad this year quite a bit. And I got to talk to him about some of the things that are happening in the city. This is, they call it Mount Shasta. I live in Roseville, that's near Sacramento, that's a city. Stay out of trouble. What's going on? Dad's always a little worried about me, especially. But he doesn't need to worry. I have my brother looking out for me. And my dad, he just doesn't ever say anything about what he thinks I should do or be careful. He has his own little ways. Many years ago, my brother and I were roommates here in Roseville. It's about 25 years ago, and my brother taught me how to mountain bike. You may remember my Toastmasters debut when I talked about bikes. I was very excited because my husband said, hey, we should get mountain bikes. I said yes before he could even finish that sentence because I love mountain biking. 25 years ago, my brother taught me how to mountain bike. My dad found out, knowing my brother was very extreme sports. This is no, let's go on the gravel here. No, this is climb the mountain. Took me on mountain bike rides. My dad was like, oh, that sounds great. And then a few days later, we get a letter in the mail from my dad. It's a letter. We open it up. There's no letter in there. It's just a newspaper clipping saying, man gets eaten by mountain lion while mountain biking. This is how my dad expresses his concern. Knowing this, hanging out with my dad, I said, Dad, I'm getting back into mountain biking. It's going to be so great. And he goes, oh, really? That's great, Nichelle. I mean, I know that he's thinking, yeah, back when you did that with your brother, you crashed a whole bunch of times and had stitches, you're in the hospital, all kinds of crazy stuff. Keeping that in mind, I told my dad, like, you know, when Kevin, that's my brother, learned that I was going to buy a mountain bike, he said, do you remember when you first started mountain biking, how you just went all out and a little crazy and you crashed a whole bunch? I'm like, yeah, I remember. You're going to do that again, are you? No, I'm not going to do that again. I'm going to rely on you to coach me through what my mountain biking looks like now. Because mountain biking is a different story. Mountain bikes have come a long way in their technology. Just before we headed up to Mount Shasta, I bought a mountain bike. It's a full suspension mountain bike. It's got a carbon frame, and you can adjust that thing like it's a supercar. It's amazing. I'm excited to ride it. But it would have to wait. I had mountain biking on my mind, I had to say. And I expressed all of this stuff to my dad, hanging out with my dad, all this mountain biking fun and all this stuff. It is pure happiness. I am ready to conquer the mountain. My dad was very happy for me. Happiness is contagious. So we ended up having a super time. Uncle Gerard, my cousin Dennis, my cousin Monica, we all did the walk together, and then we were hanging out, waiting for the parade to start by the beer booth, and here's the stage with a guy announcing so-and-so in this category made this much time, the runners here. It was a very long, doing a lot of standing around waiting. Really fun though. Uncle Gerard was hanging out right there where we were at by the beer booth, talking to everybody. It was hot, unusually hot in Mount Shasta. And I was just leaning up a tree. My cousin Monica was near me, her husband, my Aunt Patty, Uncle Gerard, my dad, my brother, and they were reading off these prizes. If you entered into the walk, you were entered into the prizes. And they got through all of these prizes to the grand prize, an electric mountain bike. You had to be present to win. They called 3 names. Those people were not there. And then they called my name. And I exploded from that tree and ran up there with so much excitement. This bike retails for $3,000.
Whoa.
I won that bike. If you ask my dad, what was your favorite part about your birthday? At the end of the day, with all these great things, a barbecue, all in his honor, he said, Nichelle's bike. Happiness is contagious.